Get on out of there. Get on now. All right. Welcome back to Free Free's Garage. You know I got my boy Blue looking good. Pipes are on. She's looking sexy. Some nice big mouth pipes in the back. And those are true 4 inches all the way in, buddy. Ain't no block offs. They're nice. Shark Road exhaust, man. Who knew? They're pretty new to me. Yeah, man. Blue is looking good. We are back at it again today. Doing some stuff, man. Doing some stuff. As you know, just recently we did the headlights here. The LEDs looking good, looking good. So we're continuing on. Today I'm trying to address the biggest issue, one of the big issues about this bike. It's not the biggest issue, but it is one big issue that goes along with it, and it's that she can't breathe. She can't breathe. There's the breather, and it's not all good, people. And I gotta show you in order to really, you know, tell you what I'm talking about. It's just not set up like a normal bike. You know what I mean, like a breather. Of course, you know your breather is on this side, and that's fine. However, if you own this bike, you already know that your air cleaner is over here. Why is that? Well, I'm gonna let you know in just a minute. So, yeah, she can't breathe, man. She can't breathe. This bike, you know, as I told you, you know, it's neutered from the factory. Like, it's 67% at a certain RPM in every gear, really. It just starts trimming it to 67%. So that's an issue that's going to get all worked out with the ECU. So I'm not concerned with that. But if I am going to get all the power and all the performance out of this bike, I got to address the breathing. And I thought just getting a K&N would be fine. You know, I usually get a K&N, you know, for regular, but you know, for my FJR, you know, that's inside. There's really no aftermarket intake you can get for that, that I know of. So K&N worked well with that. As you know, Titan has the hypercharger, so that has a K&N, but it is an intake. So I tried putting a K&N in here. That's what's in here now. And yes, I'm pointing to this side. It's crazy. The filter is over here, but the intake is on the other side. And so we're going to help Blue breathe a little bit better today. I'm going to be installing a Roaring Toys intake. I got the straight 8. It's a nice looking thing. I'm going to show you in just a minute. But first, we need to talk about this intake setup, because it's the first time I've ever seen anything like it. And you know, I'm looking here right now. I don't see any kind of openings. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I don't see any openings whoa, you're going nuts here. Hold on. So I don't see any openings here for any kind of air or anything like that. And your filter is right under here. So it's just silly. I guess it's sucking in air from here. I think there's a tube up here that it sucks in air, sends it through the middle of the engine, in between the V-twins, comes out the other side into the actual intake. And there's no filter on the intake on the other side. So I'm going to take these off real quick so you can like get a good idea of what I'm talking about here. This is the left side, which I said, this is the K&N filter that I have. It's held on there with a bolt here, but after that is off there, you'll see that it goes right through. Yeah, exactly. Why on earth they would do it like this and make your air go through this hot engine? Well, they have this little plastic case in here, which restricts it even more. I mean, as you can see, like I don't know if you can really see that well, but it is restricted even further with this plastic thing. So this plastic is in 2 pieces, one here, and then on the other side it has another one that meets up with it. I think after I do the intake, I am going to try to leave this on as a dummy side because it looks even and I don't want just a big gap sitting here. But yeah, so how on earth? So I guess it's getting air in here from somewhere, sending it through the filter, sending it through the engine, and then on the other side, it comes back through that hole and comes up into your intake. No filter over here, nothing covering, no dust, not even a dust cover. So yeah, it's weird. Strangest thing I've ever seen. When I'm sending this off to Ivan after, I was just thinking, because he asks you everything that you're going to need, or I mean everything that you have on the bike, what pipes, what intake, all of that. And he tunes it exactly to what you have. He knows about the products that come on the bike, so when you just let him know, he has it already tuned, and he knows these bikes really well. So I figured, why wait? Why not just go ahead and get everything done at the time that I send the ECU off, and that way it's coming back perfect. And I can also see, I'm noticing with this bike, every little step that I do, I can see a difference. I can see an improvement. It feels a little bit better. Of course, the exhaust going on there made a big difference. Actually putting the K&N filter on the other side the regular way made a little bit of a difference as far as the breathing. But we're gonna go traditional, and we're gonna do it with this right here. This here, if you can see, if you can't see, I don't know, but is Roaring Toys cold air intake. So just came in the mail, so I'm gonna get this on. It's pretty simple to get on there. As you see, it's just gonna bolt right up to your air intake. 5 bolts, 3 on top, 2 on the bottom. This goes over top of it, and that's the cover. So I'm gonna throw it on real quick and get started with it. It's a lot easier if you lift your tank up just a little bit. In order to do that, there is 2 12mm bolts that come out of here, a 10mm acorn nut, and then 4mm hex bolts right here. This little thing up here that, your ignition and everything, that's just a plastic piece that pops out of there. When I started moving this, it kind of moves a little bit and wiggles with this. So you just pop that out of there, and then once you get all of these off, this plastic thing will come off the top, and it'll give you the space up here to bend your tank up a little bit, and just pick it up just slightly to get it out of the way so you can grab at some of the wires and bolts. I got the tank propped up just a little bit so I can reach. There's like a sensor here that I got out here. So I just put a piece of wood in there. So the tank is being held up only by my wood. So we're going to get over here, and I have to remove this plastic piece from this side as well from the actual intake. I got all these cracked open. It's ready to come off, but there is a hose right here that comes off the top of it that just needs to be unplugged. And then of course your sensor is down in there. Can you see? Yeah. So you just push that down and pull that out. And that's going to be your sensor right here. On the other side there's a screw. With the new pack, it's going to come with a new screw, like a chrome screw in there to put it in. But you could use your old stuff, but I'm going to use all the new stuff. But yeah, this sensor has to come out of here and go into the new intake. Once you get that plug and that other tube out, this should just come right on out. And this, we don't need this anymore. I mean, this big old thing is done. And then you're left with this big gapped opening. I'm not too happy about this. I need to clean it up a little bit. But this is going to be left kind of open. I mean, it's going to be right here, but the engine is just not all finished here, so it leaves a big hole. So that's why on the other side, I'm going to leave the cover on and have like a dummy cover, because it's better than having this weird looking part of the engine now. But at any rate, just going to clean up on this edge right here. Really doesn't need it actually. Probably now I need to clean all my fingerprints off of there, but and all the oil. But yeah, this is going to plug in from here, and then this run right here, I got a special little plug that goes in there, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But for now, I have got to take this thing out, and as you can see, there's a little focus. There's a little screw there. Screw it. That's going to be your sensor. So unscrew that, install that into the new one. All right, this is pretty much the package that I got. It was all kind of stuffed in here. But there's a small little filter here. I believe that's going to be for the crankcase. This right here is what I wanted to show you real quick. Is going to be for that tube. So I'm going to plug that up with that tube. And then, of course, they got hardware that's long enough for, their stuff here, and then the actual screws I'm going to be using to get the cap on are already installed in here. So we have some instructions. Won't be needing those. Yeah, so let's pop this on. Got a nice little K&N filter that goes with it too. That's kind of cool. All right, so whoops, dropping stuff everywhere because it shouldn't be there. Anywho, remember that hose I was telling you about? That one right here? You're gonna take that aluminum plug that they give you and just shove it right into that hose. There we go. So it's in there. It's pretty tight, but just for good measure, I'm gonna put a zip tie around it just to make sure it is extra secured. Snip off the excess. The only thing now is to get this sensor out of here and put it in a new one. Yeah, a simple screw here that comes out and your whole sensor comes out. Very small. All right, well, here's some stupid stuff. The Allen size for the inner bolts that they provide for the same thing, going on a metric bike, metric. All the other bolts, metric. You get to these ones and they're standard, 3/8. What the heck is that all about, man? It's a metric bike. It should be all metric, and you hit party on the parts are metric. I don't know, maybe it's me. For the guys out here using power tools to do this, like, oh, it is so cringe-worthy, man. Like, you're going steel into aluminum, man. Like, thread it in with your fingers, man. I can see using a power drill or something to take them out. You're screwed if you just rip into this with a power tool. It's like, you know, feel it going on, man. Feel your machine. I guess it's like Bob Marley saying, you know, some people feel the rain, others just get wet. Even though I'm going to be trying to keep this on here, I still have to take this off because I got to get to the breather tube in there. It has the small breather that comes along with it too. You'll notice this will come in the pack, and that's a small tube breather that's just under here. So you have to remove this side to get to it, but then I'm hoping all this will go right back on. All right. Okay, so the tube that I'm talking about is right here. It came out of the top here and it went into the back of here. It's just kind of shoved down in here. It wasn't tight in there at all. You actually don't need this tube. The tube that comes out of it is going to come out entirely, and then this piece here, this nub up here that goes into the cylinder, you are just going to plug this in directly into that. I'm trying to weave it around. I think I'll weave it around, but it just plugs onto that and it'll sit in there, and you put the clamp down and it just lives under there on its own. I don't want to just leave this open like this. I mean, the tank's going to come down a little bit, but still, you're going to have this big opening. So I'm going to put the case, this plastic case, back in here and just put this up here and just dummy it up. All right, well, we got it on. Looking good, man. I don't know about this, you know, this open part here. I'm going to try to see if I can find something, maybe get a plate made or something like that that'll go in there, but I don't know. Looks good so far though. Better than the stock, and I'm going to assume that it is going to breathe a lot better as well. So it doesn't stick out any further than the stock one did. If it does, maybe slightly, but yeah, looks pretty good. So this is just one of the steps, the big steps too. And you know, as I was thinking about it, you know, it made sense to just make sure, you know, I had the intake and the exhaust before I do the ECU. Those are the things I was going to do to this anyways to get all of the power that I can out of it. And I think we are well on our way, folks, to getting this thing together, getting it at its tip top. Because as you know, I mean, if you own one of these bikes, you know, any bike really just has its own little things that it asks for in order to be the best bike that it could be. This one here just begs for you to call Ivan. You know, it needs to have that ECU flash, that neutering that they did to it, just, it's not going to work. So the gray looks good. I mean, it's similar to the engine color and the chrome, but I think it melts in fair enough, I guess. I'm a fan of chrome, but hey, they didn't have a chrome one. All right, so just took a quick little spin on it, man. This is the biggest difference. Now, every time that I went and did an upgrade with the K&N filter initially, there was a little bit. I did the pipes, and that was a lot more. Nothing like the breather though, man. It's so much better with that breather. There's no hesitation or anything with it digesting, the air and fuel and everything now. So it's feeling good. The only other step left now is just to go get it ivanized, and after that, I'm really hoping for some really significant improvements. So she's feeling good, guys. So that's the air intake. Stay tuned for the next upgrade. See you on the next one, guys.